Hello. Hello. Thought I would just try doing a walkie-talkie. Never done one before, and a few people said it was a good idea. So here we go. Just come out for a bit of an evening walk. It's a bit cloudy and it's a little bit drizzly, but walks soften out, clear my head when I'm feeling a bit low. I've been wondering a lot recently whether I've been doing the right thing, leaving my job and starting all this ADHD coaching. Business has been a bit slow, and I'm beginning to think it's not going to work. I'm not going to earn enough money in time, and I might have to sell the house. So it's always good to take stock of things and not make rash decisions, I guess. So I've been having thoughts about this for a while and getting more and more worried because the money I have is running out. But since I found out about ADHD, I've had a much more sort of positive feeling, and the feeling that this is the right thing to do and it will work. And I've never really thought before that that's not the case. However, I had a few days away with my mum. No, my mum came to visit. I went to picked her up and dropped her off, and had a few days with my mum, and took her back today. Stayed overnight, slept on the sofa. So not really sleep on the sofas, but I quite liked it. Made a change, somewhere different. Anyway, this week things have looked up a little bit. Two good things have happened this week. I've had another inquiry on my website about coaching. Hello, if you're seeing this. It was an email. It was an inquiry via my website, so I know that my website form is working. This person is interested in coaching, so that's good news. That made me feel good. One thing I really like is I need feedback. I very much, if I don't see results from something, I want to give up and do something else. So I need to know that I'm doing the right thing. And this was good. It was very welcome. I've had quite a few weeks now with very little happening, despite lots of efforts on LinkedIn and social media and meeting people and having inquiries that haven't led to anything. But then, today, I had an email from Sharon Barber, who's our local health correspondent on the BBC. I'd written to her a couple of weeks ago and explained to her about the problems with ADHD diagnosis and the fact that Psychiatry UK have stopped doing referrals from the NHS, which is one of the main routes that people who can't wait for the 7 years can go to get their diagnosis. They have a waiting time of, you can turn it around in usually about 7 or 8 months instead of up to 7 years in some parts of the UK. Anyway, it turned out she was on secondment or placement to London doing something, and she said she would get in touch with her colleagues and someone would be in touch. Now this was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I thought nothing more of it. I thought, well, another failed attempt at getting someone to listen to me rambling on. And today I had a LinkedIn message from her asking if her colleague who does the health for the network, the BBC network, could get in touch because she'd like to hear my story. So I said, of course, here's the number. So fingers crossed. Again, that might come to nothing, but the fact that somebody's actually interested in what I'm doing, and potentially I have a platform to say something, would be fantastic. So today has been a good day. So for anybody out there that has a bad day, good days usually follow. Persevere. It's always worth persevering with things. And as I've learnt, you don't always get an immediate response from things. Sometimes things are a slow burn. I've discovered from coaching that a lot of people don't have the funding for it. However, I can talk to them about access to work funding, which provides really financial support for staying in the workplace for people that have got ADHD and other disabilities. So I've got another one on the go who again is very interested, that has applied for access to work funding based on my advice. So that's another one which I'm waiting on. In the meantime, I am focusing on creating a short online course for people with ADHD. It's going to be called ADHD 101, and it's all about ADHD. Basically everything you need to know in a nutshell, and it's aimed at people who either have ADHD, think they have it, have just been diagnosed, or anyone that's supporting them, and anybody that wants to know a little bit of something about ADHD. I'm kind of hoping that people will find that of interest, and I'm going to make it reasonably priced. So hopefully, if the number of questions that I'm getting from people about ADHD is anything to go by, it's certainly something there's a need out there for, because there's a lot of misinformation around, a lot of confusing information, and people just don't know what ADHD really is. And if they have ADHD, I don't like using the term have ADHD, because I think of it more of a personality type than a condition. They just don't know anything about it. So hopefully that will be of interest and someone will buy it. I have to pay my mortgage somehow, or I'm going to lose my house. So any support would be more than welcome. Any advice would also be more than welcome. This field I'm in is very muddy. What else can I say? Oh yeah, I thought about doing this as a live feed, a live stream. I don't know if that would be of any interest, but I'll see how the recording goes first, and if it's popular, and if it is, I might just do a live stream next time for all my subscribers, which I can count on one hand, but maybe I'm just talking to myself. But talking to myself is a great thing. So I've discovered through my journey that I'm a verbal reasoner, and I think this applies to a lot of people with ADHD. They have a lot of internal thoughts that go round and round and round in their head, and they have difficulty processing those. And I've kind of discovered that my way of processing thoughts is to actually verbalize them. So, actually speak to someone, talk to someone, and that person doesn't necessarily have to answer back or even be listening. It's just that actual act of talking. So even now, the suggestion of a walkie-talkie film, I think it's a good one, because I feel much more natural and relaxed talking now than I do when I'm talking in front of the camera on my computer. So anyway, back to verbal reasoning. People with ADHD may well find that it is a very good way of having thoughts and processing information just by talking through it with somebody. And if they are lucky enough if you're lucky enough that they actually sort of give you any feedback, that's all the better, but it's not essential. Oh, I think there's some deer up there. Hang on. Or is it dogs? Let's see. No, I don't suppose you can. They've just disappeared. I wish I'd turned around before seen 3 deer. That was a bonus I didn't expect. It's about 6:15 and it's starting to get dark. Actually, this is where I am. It's a field which is close to my house in Newcastle. So, as you can see, even in rural places, there's often solitude to be had. Very muddy as well. And over there, you can actually see the spotlights from Gosforth Park Rigged Racecourse. For anybody who's into horse racing. Anyway, I don't know how long to make this, but anyway, verbal reasoning. If you haven't already tried it, give it a go. And the latest idea I've had is literally just to keep a video diary. So I'm going to give that a try. I've tried writing journals and things like that, like people have said, but never really got on with it. I find the whole thought of writing tedious and time consuming, and to never go back to them, and I never really learn anything from it. Whereas if I do a video diary, even if I never look at it again, the fact that I've talked, said things, it helps me process them and remember them. So, top tip of the day for people with ADHD is verbal reasoning. Talk to someone, or just talk to yourself. Record yourself talking about something that you're struggling to process, and you see if you can actually reason things out more easily. It certainly works for me. Other topics this month, so far, I've managed to get hold of my ADHD medication this month. I was on Concerta XL 56 milligrams, which is the second strongest strength. And for those that don't know, I was unable to get them last month. I was given the runaround by the GP and the pharmacist and left to ring up all the local pharmacies, only to find out nobody had any. The local suppliers didn't have any, and they couldn't get any. So the only option I was given is take the prescription away and talk to the GP. So the GP, who they're good, they get back quite quickly, and I never have a problem speaking to them. All they said was, well, see if they're available next month. And to be honest, that kind of filled me with horror, and I was very surprised at that, because would you tell someone that they could do without their heart medicine or their diabetes medicine for a month? Now, my medication keeps me, it keeps me going. It enables me to function on a more normal level, whatever that is. So that normal level. And without them, it's very, very hard. I get confused, I forget things, I get very stressed about pleasing people. And right now, as you're probably aware, I'm trying to start up a business doing coaching and advocacy for ADHD. And I explained all this to the GP, and I had asked, I knew this was my idea, can I have a prescription for the same strength but made up of 2 smaller doses, and I just take 2 tablets? This was actually one of the pharmacists suggested. So that's what they did. So last month I eventually got hold of the medication by taking, I think it's 18 and 32 milligrams. And even though I have a shared care agreement set up with my private psychiatrist, that's kind of a legal change that can be made, and it's all within the rules, and that doesn't need the consent of the psychiatrist. So I explained this to the GP, and I really shouldn't have to, but I did, and that's what they did. So last month I then got my medication, albeit I'm getting very wet in a big puddle. Yes, and this month, lo and behold, no problems at all. So there's a tip. If you've run out of ADHD medication, you can't get it, it's available in other strength. Ask your GP about doing a new prescription for smaller strengths but combining them. That worked out for me. Again, for those of you who don't know, there's a bit of a problem. Certain ADHD medicines, including what's it called? There's Concerta XL that I have, particularly the 56 milligram, and I forget what the other one's called. But it's another crisis that we're having to deal with that's kind of getting ignored. Oh dear, I'm getting soaked. Never mind. Well, who cares? This is me with muddy boots in the field. Race course. I'm really soaked. I should just. Here. I just give up. Oh, there's a crow. These shoes are waterproof, so I wish I'd put my boots on. Where are the boots? These are boots. They're not waterproof. I didn't expect it to be quite this bad. Okay. Interesting. Anyway, what more can I say? I hope you find these rambles interesting, and I might do this again in another location where hopefully I don't get completely drowned. Yeah, so watch out for my short online courses, and I'll probably release some snippets on here for people to see. I'm going to re-record some bits. I've learned how to use Adobe Premiere, and I've done lots of recording of clips, and I'm using Thinkific as a platform to actually get one free course with unlimited users on Thinkific as part of a free subscription. So if it takes off, I'll be using that to release other short courses. So be interested to hear what short courses you might want to have. You know, if you want to know about access to work funding, or if you want to know about what workplace support you can get, or you want to know about how the diagnosis process works, or if you just want some hints and tips on living with ADHD and managing it, I can certainly do that. So any requests in the comments will be smashing. So just coming up to 18 minutes. I think that's more than enough time, and I think all that remains for me to do is to say thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful day or evening, or whatever you're doing, and see you again next time. Thanks everyone.